What's up, YouTube? How's everybody doing today? Today I'm going to be talking about the red flags that you can see in women and that you need to spot. So the first red flag, guys, because they say it takes about 60 to 90 days to really get to know somebody. The first month, everything is cool, everything is great, you're at the honeymoon stage. You know, towards the middle of the second month, that's maybe when you might start having a little disagreements here and now. I know in my past relationships, I started seeing the disagreements towards the end of the second month, almost that 3 months time period. It's crazy because that's when people kind of start getting comfortable with you. So you have to see how they deal with conflict. You know, do they raise their voice? Do they not hear you out when you talk? Like when you're talking, do they just listen to respond? Because if there's someone that just listens to respond, then that's a red flag, because you'll never win with those people. You'll never be able to be understood by those people because they're so focused on reacting instead of really processing and reflecting things. And that's a red flag. That's something that I've dealt with before, and it's not cool. You know what I mean? They're lacking empathy, and that's what I'm about to talk about now. If someone's lacking empathy with you, meaning that, you know, they're not respecting how you feel, you know, when they keep doing a certain thing and you tell them like, yo, like, I don't like when you do this because it makes me feel like this and that, even though it makes you sound like you in your feelings, you know what I mean, and they're not respecting that, then that's a red flag. Because that person doesn't respect you. They think they can do whatever the fuck they want to do with you. And we can't have that. So those type of people, what you need to do is if they ain't listening to you, they're not respecting you, you just need to be like, yo, look, nothing personal, but this ain't gonna work. And you need to leave. You need to leave right then and there. The third thing is when a woman, and this is the most disrespectful thing ever, is when a woman tells you, like when you make plans with her, right? Tells you that, hey, I don't feel like going out because of this and that. But yet, she is telling you that she's gonna go out to eat with a male friend. That's a huge red flag right there. Because it's like, wait a minute, we official, we a couple. We're not just dating, we official, we a couple. And you can't go out to eat with me because you don't feel like it. But yeah, you want to go out to eat with another nigga, right? But y'all just friends, right? Now I can understand if y'all in a group. You know what I'm saying? If it's a group of people, yeah, that's cool. But if it's just you and him, nah, bruh. You can go ahead and eat with him, but we ain't gonna be together. And I probably won't even fuck with you no more. And I know it's hard if you're emotionally attached. But if you're someone that's not emotionally attached, cut it off right then and there. Because your girl don't respect you, bro. Because she don't listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you ain't doing that with other girls, right? Now, if y'all aren't exclusive, yeah, why not? You know what I'm saying? But keep it where she's at. But if y'all are a couple, nah, bro. Another thing is, if you always see a dude's name in her phone, especially at the top, and then you ask her who that is, she's like, oh, it's just a friend. Did you tell me you had a boyfriend? Nah, I didn't really come up. Because that's something I've heard before. That's a red flag. Especially if she was messing around with that nigga before y'all got together. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that's what we call male orbiters. That's that dude that she still keeps around as a backup plan. Especially if, you know what I'm saying, you had left her. Because I remember I left my ex for my ex. And if she's already somebody that fucks around with other dudes while they're somewhat still trying to work shit out with their ex, yeah, bruh. Because that's what she was doing to me. And I should have thought about it. But I wasn't thinking like that. That's a red flag. I'm telling you guys, it's a red flag. It's a red flag. Because when something's not working out, he gonna be the first nigga that she calls. Another red flag, guys, is when somebody tells you that they cheat. But let me elaborate. When they tell you they're cheated because their man wasn't fucking them right, or their man wasn't doing something right, and they weren't getting what they wanted, that's a red flag, because that's somebody, to me, that is selfish. Now, I've been selfish. I've cheated before, and I was wrong for that. I was selfish. But if you have somebody that's just saying that, like, oh, well, he didn't give me what I wanted, so I went ahead and cheated, and still stayed in the relationship, and kept continuously cheating, well, no wonder you're not going to enjoy the sex, because you're thinking about that nigga while you fucking your man. And that's a red flag. Because that right there leads me to be like, well, damn, if she cheated on her ex because he didn't do something right, the moments I stop doing something right, she gonna cheat on me. So girls like that, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, don't cuff them. Don't catch feelings for them. Have fun with them, but they try to make it official, be like, nah, bro, I can't. And I can understand why girls might say the same for me too, and I understand it. I get it. But that's another red flag. Another red flag, guys, is when a girl doesn't have faith. Now, what I mean by that is, I'm not saying being a Jesus freak, but when they have no faith and they don't respect your faith on what you believe in, meaning your higher power. I remember I was in a relationship with my ex in my own house, and I was praying out loud. She said, can you do that in your head? I'm like, wait, what? And then I said, can I ask you a question? She's like, no. She got defensive. Right then and there, I should have just been like, yo, this ain't gonna work. Because if you don't have no faith and times get tough, who you gonna talk to? What are you gonna do? How are you supposed to raise your children, you know what I'm saying, in a household with no faith? How? You're not gonna be able to, because you have nothing to believe in. And I get it, I understand. You know, her dad was an atheist. But still, how? You know what I'm saying? You gotta believe in some type of God. You gotta believe in some type of higher power, even at the universe. It's very, very vital, because you can't do all this shit by yourself. You can't. Nobody can. The next thing, guys, and it's huge, is how are they around your friends? Do they act different around your friends? Like shy, dismissive, just brand new? It's like they just act like a brand new person. They're not very interactive, kind of standoffish, quiet, awkward. That's a red flag, because when they're with you, they're a whole new person. And they might be toxic around you. You know what I'm saying? They might be passive aggressive with you. But when they're with your friends, they come off as, you know, someone that's just shy. Or maybe they might come off as this girl that's super sweet. You know what I mean? They put on the act. But then when they're with you, whole nother person. That's a red flag. Because you need to have someone that's going to keep that same energy. Now, I can understand if they get bad vibes off your friends, or they observe your friends. That's fine. That's different. But if they're like socially awkward, or they put on this act, and then with you, they're totally different, that's a red flag. And also, the next thing is, how is their relationship with their parents or their family? You know, a lot of, you can tell a lot about a woman is how her upbringing was. If she grew up in a split household where the parents, you know, of course got a divorce and were fighting constantly, where the mom was telling her one thing, the dad was telling her another thing. She's going to choose to gravitate towards one. So a lot of times, those households, the parents constantly are telling their kids bad things about, their dad, or their mom's telling bad things. Their mom's telling bad things about their dad, and the dad's telling bad things about their mom. And a lot of times those parents tend to be like, oh, well, I'll buy you this, you know what I mean? To pretty much gain more respect so they can develop a better relationship. And the mom like, okay, well, he bought you this. All right, well, I'm going to get you this. And it's just kind of like makes them pick sides. And it's very sad, especially, if the dad is someone who's passively aggressive. Because I remember, in my last relationship, my ex's father was somewhat of a narcissistic person. And he was constantly trying to embarrass his daughter in front of me, like saying, oh, I could never get this girl to work out. Or I remember, when she was young, I'd make her run and I would drive and tell her this and that. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, fuck. Like, no wonder this girl's like this, bro. Like, fuck me. And no wonder why she might have commitment issues, bro. Because, the way that she was brought up, the way that y'all fought, she picked up on that. And that's all that she knows. And that's how she is in her relationships. She just resorts to just shutting down. And that's another thing that I want to talk about is a woman that shuts down, a woman that's willing to give up. Like a woman who, if you're addressing something to her and she's just ignoring you, that's a woman right there that, to me, is somebody who, of course, doesn't respect you, but kind of looking for a way out, because she wants to make it look like you're the one who's overreacting. And a lot of times, women who ignore you while you're saying what you feel, which to me, if you're trying to tell a woman something like, yo, I don't like when you do this and that, and she's rolling her eyes, I'm out that door. I'm not finna go back and forth. I'm not finna waste no energy with you, because you don't need those type of girls, because you're going to be dealing with that shit the whole time being in a relationship with her. And that's something that I've dealt with. I've given girls too much energy. And if they're not going to listen to you when you're trying to address things, you don't need that person in your life. It's very childish. It's something that a parent would do to their child. Is when a child is telling the parent how they feel, the parent is just ignoring them, letting them throw their temper tantrum and be like, are you done? You done? You done? That's disrespectful as fuck, man. I'll be like, yeah, I'm done with you. Yeah, I'm out. Actually, I probably wouldn't even say that. I'll just be like, all right, bet. And just walk out. Another thing is when a woman is always threatening to leave you. If a woman is always threatening to leave you, that means that she's mentally clocked out. And 9 times out of 10, she probably has somebody else lined up. So if you get in a fight with a girl and she just says, oh, well, why don't we just end things right now, and just breaks up with you, just like that, she probably got another nigga, man. Because nobody that really cares about you is just going to end things just like that without having a backup plan. And I'm telling you, because when I fell out of love with my ex, I had my other ex as a backup plan for me. So it wasn't really hard for me to end things because I had another person. But if you're somebody that don't have nobody in your rotation, then it's going to be harder. But that's why you have to make a decision like, okay, this person has not shown me that they're a good communicator. This person hasn't shown me that they care about me. Because of all the other red flags I listed, like they don't listen, they don't respect you, they're not a good communicator, and they're picking up all these bad habits, from their upbringings. I gotta detach myself from this situation, and I gotta stay strong. I can't get in my feelings about it. I just gotta move on. I gotta end things, and I'll be all right, man. I'll be alright. And that's something that, like I said, I am working on. So if someone's always threatening to leave the relationship, they're already thinking about leaving. So you don't need that type of person, especially if you got kids with that person or you married with that person. Like, you better get a prenup with that person, man. Straight up. If you know what I'm saying? If they threatening to leave you every single time. Another red flag is if you have to beg somebody for an apology. If you have to literally kiss their ass for them to forgive you. Meaning if you have to like beg them not to leave you, or if you're somebody that has to like, you know, get them all these things like food, take them out, give them flowers after y'all got into a fight and you weren't even wrong and you had to apologize for something that you didn't even do. And that person isn't holding themselves accountable to the fact that, well, you know, they're making excuses to try to justify why you did what you did, when in reality, you were just setting boundaries. But if you have to be that person to be like, you know what, I'm sorry, and you take 100% responsibility for it, and that person isn't, and you have to go and do all those things I mentioned to get her approval, which you should never have to get a woman's approval, but if you have to, like, get an apology from her, but, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, if you have to do all that shit just to stay in a relationship with her, for her to forgive you, fuck all that, man. That means you're a simp. That means you're a little bitch. And I'm speaking from experiences, man. I've had to do that shit. That shit ain't cool, man. And I feel weak as fuck for doing that. But I'm telling y'all, man, I'm not doing that shit no more. And the last thing I want to say, what is another thing that I want to say? Actually, that's pretty much it, man. Oh yeah, the last thing is trust your gut. If you get that vibe that, yo, like, this girl ain't it, and I'm just with her because I don't want to be alone, then she ain't it. If you have to convince yourself that this is the person for you, it ain't the person for you. That's a red flag. Because you shouldn't have to think that this person is for you. You should know if this person's for you. And this person should be able to feel the same for you. This person should be able to respect you, let you be on your purpose, be grateful that they have you. And that's another thing I want to talk about, guys, is someone who's appreciative of you. You know, if someone you have, you know, appreciates the fact that you cook for her from time to time, that, you know, you are taking her out to these nice places. Every now and then you get her flowers. You know, you run an errand for her every now and then, and she's someone that's going to be a bitch every time, you know, you get her food, say, oh, this food sucks. Or, you know what I'm saying, nagging you, telling you, asking you, like, yo, like, when you coming over, when you know you got shit to do. You don't need that shit. And that's something I dealt with before, is just, you know, someone that wasn't appreciative of all the things that I did for her. She didn't give a fuck. And that's someone that you don't need in your life. You don't need somebody who is gonna, you know, you go out of your way to get them food and they're gonna be a bitch about it. You get a girl food, right? And she says, oh, this food sucks. You know what you do? Get that food, throw it in the trash. That's what you do. And you walk out the door. Or you just be like, all right, bet. Cool. Well, don't ever ask me to get you anything ever else. And if they say, all right, I won't, just be like, you know what? I'm out. And leave. Because you don't need that shit in your life, bro. You don't need to be around people like that. And I know it's easier said than done, but you got to put your foot down, man, and you got to keep it moving. You got to keep it pushing. And this is something that's not going to come overnight. It takes months, takes years to really master, you know, being red pill, alpha. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be easy for me, but it's something that I have to do to protect my heart, protect my energy. You know what I'm saying? I noticed that when I'm more firm with women, that's when they respect you. But then when you put them on a pedestal and you start doing all these nice things, you know, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Anyways, guys, I hope y'all learned from this video. I'm about to get this lifting. 2020 is going to be a good year. All right, guys.